Hi folks, I'm going to do a lake scene, or try to do a lake scene. This is a piece of 15 inches by 11 inch paper cut in half, and I'm practicing now with my, I'll show you what I got. Last Saturday I got half a gallon of that. It's vet gel used by vets for, you know, when they put the long glove on their arm and they examine a cow to see if she's ready to calve and that sort of thing. I didn't realise it was going to be the vet. Well, it's obvious when it said vet gel, but I didn't really understand it. It's obviously not what is used in our National Health Service. This is tinted blue, so probably to distinguish it from the clear stuff that our medics use, and I was a recipient of some of that last Monday when I was having an echo sound. It helps the instrument slide around your skin, but it also is very good for doing acrylic painting. Well, I hope. I did a tiny little test. I didn't have much time after it arrived, but I did a little tester. I'll just put my finger in the alizarin crimson. But I'm very, very impressed. So I'm even thinking of just coating the whole paper with some of the gel. I've poured a bit out into my little pot here. I hope the focus is going to be okay on this. I've got the camera quite high, and I've got the zoom. I've got it on zoom, zoomed out. Right. Okay. So away we go. So let's see what happens. Let's try it. I'm using you as my guinea pigs. Plenty of it. Let's make it on. It's the stuff I squeezed out on Saturday late afternoon is still open. So that says quite a lot. Now I don't think it dries anywhere near as quick as the proprietary ones. Well, we'll get rid of that. But it's water-based acrylic. So let's put a bit of a sky in. So they're my colours, you know what they are, they're the usual. Oh. Look. So I want a central section, but quite light. Look how that flows. Look. I want a central section coming through the middle of this. Then I can doctor it a bit. So let's have a bit of red, a bit of burnt umber, not red, blue, and we can add a bit of alizarin in there. So as that dries, I'm going to try and blend it. Water going in the bottom here. Let's just put that across there. Well, that's a good start for an acrylic painting there. Using the new Vet Gel. It's very cheap. In fact, the postage and the tax, the VAT on it, was more than the £8 I spent on the tub of gel. So quite excited about that. I'm just going to treating this like a watercolour. I've got my pot over my 4-gang electricity socket. No, you can't see that. I'll just move it out of the way a bit, just in case I electrocute myself. Now I just want nice dark. Now I've primed the paper with a bit of burnt sienna. Look how that's still open, look at that. Would you believe it? Would you ever believe it? Wow, just to clean the brush. Well, this is a real experiment here. This is the first one I've published. Sid on YouTube told me about this. It comes from, I think probably made in Germany, but it's a company that supplies it from Dorchester. Now, Dorchester I know very well because we've got friends that live around there. It's the home of the Frank Herring and Sons Art Emporium, where they supply frames, paintings, and a friend of ours who used to be a neighbour's daughter is married to the son. I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to give it a bit of a help and dry it off. Hold on, because I don't want, if I start to bend it now, it will start to pick up underneath and slide it off. Look there. Right, that seems to be okay. I'll have to pour some more gel out now because I've used all that, most of it, in that initial wash. But now I'm just going to use this for just normal painting. Oops. So I was using VO5, which is a hair gel, which is £5 for a 200ml tube. There we are, look. Wet look. Well, I just got a wet look under my bald head. VO5 wet look styling gel, £5 that, super dry. That's a lot of money for what we're using. The PVA glue dries very quickly. It does the job, but it's very quick drying. This gel seems to stay open quite a long time, so I can just start to close up these bits of painting there. Use a bit of the gel and we'll just see what happens. Mix a bit of alizarin in with that. Burnt umber blue and a bit of alizarin in it. Right. Go back in with some light now in that centre bit there. I'm going to mix a touch of alizarin with that. Ooh. With me, I can't show you the mixing. It's just too difficult. Pinch of gel in this. Case of going over and over this really. Just add a little bit of touch of that red. Just a gradual transition. It's not quite right there, but I'll put a bit of this alizarin over that. Bit of gel. Look at that. Now it has quite a bit of gel in there, and it's held its colour. It hasn't sort of bled right out. It's nice yellow in there, I think. It's quite heavy rain today. We haven't had much rain in London. We're well down. Oh, there we are. That's a start. So now we'll put in some background. So we get a cup of coffee, a black coffee. I'm trying to get used to coffee. I'm not a lover of it. But I'm waiting for a coffee we used to like when we were just married and coffee was sort of de rigueur. With Blue Mountain, a Kenyan coffee. We used to love that. But we got through so many Kona coffee apparatuses. They're very delicate, 2 glass bottles, one on top, glass, really like retorts, one on top of the other. They worked very well, but they didn't last that long, not with my clumsy hands. Then we tried, had a gold filter Rowenta coffee, but that was great until the gold metal gold plated coffee holder filter split. So that was the end of that. We tried the Italian aluminium ones where the top screws onto the bottom, the espresso. They were good, but they're a bit unreliable. The gaskets used to wear out on. So then we tried filter coffee, the cafetiers. We don't really like those. But when we went into the filter coffee, we had a lovely coffee machine that my daughter, she worked for a coffee company at some stage in her life, and she gave it to us when she got a more comprehensive machine. But we forgot all about it. It's been in a cupboard, but we've got it out and it's quite good. And you can, as you know, you can make it and just leave it on the boil, on the heat, and just drink away. But I'm looking forward to the Blue Mountain. I ordered some online because you can get it still. I think it's a sort of a beginner, if I'm honest, I think it's a beginner's coffee. So sort of Lake District sort of scene here. But I want to get some light on there, and the only best way to do that is just to put some light above it. Negative space. I'm using a very nice brush here. This is a long flat Georgian De La Rowney, very nice brush. I think the Georgian range is the student range. Well, anyway, okay, I'm a student of painting with Vet Gel. Let's change that a little bit. The gel has lifted off a little bit there. Well, we can put a little bit of light catch in there. Get more alizarin in that. So if you're watching this, Sid, thanks very much for the recommendation. I have left a comment on your comment because I think it's really good. Okay, let's put in a bit of warmer colour now, so it's a bit of burnt umber, a bit of red, a bit of white, I think. bit misty over there. Okay, let's carry on with this background, but I'm going to put in some dark now, some dark orangey, black, yellow, red on that horizon here. More red in there. Now I've got my paints in the Stay Wet palette, which I normally use for watercolour, but I put my watercolours in a Ziploc bag on a chunk of toweling that's wet, just to keep it nice and moist. I think if this works, and I'm probably going to give up oil painting with brushes. I don't really like, well I like it, but it just doesn't agree with my chest these days. And let's go a bit higher with that there. I'll have to put a bit of air in those trees later. It's quite heavy rain now. Okay, now got a nice straight horizon. I've got to do something there. Right, put that in the water. Let's have a little look. I think this gel would easily take the place of the alkyd oil resins or dryers, or flow mediums. And that is, it's touch dry, but we can always use the hairdryer on that. Now I want to get in a bit of salt marsh here. This is a salt marsh painting, so I want to have a flat. Then we can tidy up all that as we get to it. So let's put in. I should really use a bit of burnt sienna, but the burnt sienna I'm using is not like the lovely Winsor & Newton, which is more red than anything else, but beautiful. So I'm going to buy some of that. Someone recommended a art material emporium. We've got several of them, which is Cowling and Wilcox, and there are several of their stores in London, and he reckons they're cheaper than anyone else. So we'll give them a little look. I've yet to find out well, that's not really working that way. Their catalogue, I haven't found that yet, so that I can buy online. Let's use this one. Got a bit of yellow in that. Bit of get lighter colours coming down here with the grass and marsh grass. I'm going to change the shape of that. I'm not really happy. It's not as what I intended. Right, let's get a bit of green in there. So I'll use a bit of viridian, a bit of yellow ochre. So I'm just putting in some grasses over that, some marsh grass. Okay. Now we'll just come over here with a bit of that. There's going to be a bit of a push there. I can modify that, I can add some background there behind it. That is coming down into one of these, could be Hayling Island. Okay, bit of umber, bit of red, warmer colours coming into this. At least I'm not painting another meadow. I love meadows, but most of my meadows are inspired, as you can see by comparing. From Mordenhall Park, the boardwalk, which I paint, so I absolutely love it. I've got this quite heavily gessoed with some chalk. It's chalk powder. Right, there's a bit of shadow in there. Plenty of black in there with red. So don't use black on its own. Right, I want to do some cleaning up in here now. Hey, that's looking good, isn't it? Quite pleased with that. Dry my brush. Let's go back to this 1/2 inch flat. Right, no shadow, no reflection in this. Just get a nice and pretty yellow ochre in there. And I'm just putting this light back in here, so if you're looking at the back of my head. So I've had this acrylic on the palette for about 3 days now. Touch of yellow in that, I think, just so I can give it a bit more brilliance. And I'll put a bit more dry brush in there, darker, reflecting the I want that to dry then. Clean the brush. I'm going to thicken up the dark in there and get some light yellow light coming from there, from the centre here. Hey, this is good. Now, bear in mind that I don't try to aim for a finish to start with. I work to a finish rather than try to start with a finish. Shadow. And we can counter change some lights there, but I want some light catching those bits there. My camera's moved. Let's come that way a little bit. Oh. Okay, too far. Right, that'll do. So I can put a mount on this when we've done. Now, a nice favourite brush. Most of my brushes that I use are worn out. I'm too mean to buy some more, but if you want to contribute to the cost of some brushes, go on Patreon for a month, cost you $4, and that would all help to pay for the materials. Plug. Right, I'm going to just get that yellowy. Is that still wet? Yeah, so I'm going to try that. Right, the headphones off, I'll fast forward. It's amazing. I'm so pleased that it allows me to do that. It stays open far longer than anything else I've ever used. And I'm having to dry it, well that's good. Just a touch of a bit of red with that. Right, let's get a bit in here. Right, let's just take the sting out of some of that then. Just get a little bit of that orangey light on the tops of those trees, that tree line. Right, I think more dark in there, more shadowy dark. So maybe go back into my black, my red, my yellow. The light on there isn't really showing enough, so I'm just going to a bit more dark in there, just a bit of shadow. I might put another coat on top of that. It's a bit streaky. but I'm concentrating on this. I just want that light on these grasses. No, I've over-egged that, I think. Go back with the green, very light green. Right, just going to a bit more over the top. I'll just clean my palette. I think we're nearly done with this one. Just take off some of the. There's the palette. No, just clear off some of the loose stuff. The rest is just staining where it's dried over the weekend. Right, so alizarin, blue and white, and got a bit of a dark filling. A little bit of light colour in there now. Right, I quite like that. Bags of damn all, as Ted Wesson used to say. Got my mount, let's put it on and have a look at it. Yeah, a nice simple little painting. I think that's worth a signature. Got the horizon straight. So another sort of estuary lake. Yeah, I'm fairly pleased with that. Alright, let's put a little bit of white in there, off-white. Actually, that'll do. In the brushes. Right, I'll just zoom out so then we can see. Well, there we are. I hope you enjoyed that, folks. I'll see you later. I'll probably do one for Patreon as well. Alright, okay, bye bye.